plant growth promoting microorganisms are very important microorganisms. They are going to interacting with the plants in a meaningful manner. Hence these interactions are called plant microbe interactions. Plant microbe interactions play a vital role in environment because microbes are ubiquitous in nature. They found in all environments. There is a bad notion and opinion among the persons microbes are not bad. Over the 99% of microbes are friendly and they help all human beings in a different manner. A small minority can harm the human beings and plants and other systems. Coming to the introduction, microorganisms contributing a larger extent to plant growth promotion, and they are also essential entities for soil formation as well as the maintenance of the soil fertility. So soil fertility is an indicator of plant and soil health. So they play a pivotal role in biochemical and biogeological chemical cycles. So they are active partners of all biogeochemical cycles like carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle, phosphorus cycle and potassium cycle, whatever it may be. So during the seed germination and establishment of the seedling and root system of the plants are going to interacting with the soil, that's where there is a dynamics is establishing. Coming to the next level of interaction, beneficial microorganisms and root system are going to interacting with each other. At the same time, roots are more intensified in the soil to absorb minerals like soluble nitrates, phosphates and available carbons and the sulfates. That's why nutrients are sufficiently available in the soil, then the plant system going to be established well. But there is an catalytic triad will be existed in the levels of system. What is that? All either plant system and microbial system both are present in an environment. The environment is a mixture of abiotic and biotic systems. So biotic and abiotic systems has to be manifested. At the same time they should be optimized, then plant growth promotion will be yielded. So environment directly influencing plant and microbes to establish. Both are synergistically depends upon each other for sustainability of the plant as well as the microbes. Next, so plant microbe interactions are conveniently classified into two groups of interactions. One is above ground level, the second one is below ground level. So the interactions are either above ground level, either below ground level. So what is the nature of these interactions? Most of the interactions are of three kinds. Either negative, they are said to be deleterious in nature. They are going to exerting more dangerous things on the plant system. Most of them are known as the parasitic or pathogenic in nature. Second thing is neutral, they doesn't harm the plant, just they friendly associate. But even in some conditions they large extently help the plants by means of symbiotic and asymbiotic association. Coming to the ground level and below ground level interactions, above ground level interactions are called phyllosphere interactions. Below ground level interactions are called rhizosphere interactions. Next level, these above ground level interactions are further classified conveniently into four groups. Phyllosphere around the leaf system, callosphere zone around the stem system, carposphere around the fruit, and spermosphere the zone around the seedlings and seed systems. So these four together are called as above ground level interactions of phyllosphere. Next, coming to the more microscopic details of phyllosphere, because phyllosphere is most important thing. About 80 to 90% of foliar systems including stem and flower as well as the fruits and leaf are exposed to outer environment. So the entire leaf system is consists of exterior and below surfaces. The exterior surface is called upper cuticle, lower epidermis is called lower cuticle. Both are exposed to environment. In the upper system there is no openings, but below system consists of some openings called stomata. They are natural openings, so bacteria can be enter into the system, and they establish in the inner systems like mesophyll tissues or chloroplast tissues, both are going to be affected. Such a way the interactions are very important. So it's a beautiful diagram how microbes are moving from one place to another place. So these are the impressions made on the cuticle layer that are easily captured by electron micrograph. You see here the interactions are more. So microbes are buried in the cuticle, waxy cuticle. So what type of microorganisms are present in the upper leaf surface and how they are helping the plant system? But majority of them are beneficial microflora, nitrogen fixing bacteria like free living Azotobacter, symbiotic Rhizobium, Pseudomonas species, and phytohormone producers, and Phytomonas, Erwinia and Sarcina. These are the group of organisms are capable of fixing the biological nitrogen. So biological nitrogen fixing are present in the upper surface. At the same time, nitrogen fixing algae, eukaryotic algae, Anabina, Calothrix, Nostoc, Cytonema, and Toliphothryx, these all are present on the phyllosphere. So they have been encountered on the plant surfaces in mosses and forests. Most of the mosses present in the bryophytes and pteridophytes, they consist of these type of algae, blue-green algae. Coming to the fungi, some of the fungi also present on the leaf surface: Aspergillus, Alternaria, Cercospora, Candida, Cryptococcus, Cladosporium, Penicillium, Fusarium, Colitotrichum, Verticillium. Among these all, some of the organisms are plant pathogenic in nature. Coming to Colitotrichum falcatum and Fusarium, Verticillium and Cladosporium and Cercospora personata, Alternaria, these all are going to producing diseases on the plant system. But Penicillium is also rendering the plant system to produce antibiotics. Coming to Actinomycetes, group of actinobacteria, Actinomycetes and Streptomyces especially present on the leaf surface, they producing antibiotics. These antibiotics are helping the root surface attack of dangerous bacteria. In the next level, what is the biochemical reactions present in the phyllosphere? The phyllosphere is the upper leaf surface which constitute about a major part and which provide an effective function in controlling the spread of airborne pathogens, because the surface leaves will produce more spores, because if fungi is establishing due to the air current, the fungal mycelia will be cut off and some airborne mycelia and spores will be emerging from the aerial surfaces. They are automatically and passively transported from one plant to another plant. So the term phytoalexin is also produced on the leaves. They are the substances which acts on bacteria and pathogens to protect the leaf system. They are acting as a signal systems and they help the leaf to learn which type of pathogen is entering onto the leaf surface. The term phytoalexin derived from the Greek, called phyto means plant, alexin means alerter, which going to alert the plant system. Alternatively, the phytoalexin may be normally present in the plants. The concentration of such substances may be rise markedly according to response to microbial infection. So whether it is a bad bacteria or a good bacteria, bad fungi or good fungi, based on that situation, phytoalexins are accumulated more and more on the leaf surface. Fungal spores can also produce the phytoalexins. So fungal spores are going to penetrating the leaf surface, that's why their substances readily stimulating the production of phytoalexins. Next, coming to the level of different types of phytoalexins present in the host. So most of these phytoalexins are plays a major role in defense mechanism. They protecting the leaf surface from the attack of pathogens. So in soybean, Glycemax, hydroxyphaciolin is a component is readily identifying the Phytophthora zoae. So plant can be easily identify the infestant. And potato, Solanum tuberosum, Phytophthora infestans can be easily identified by solanin. And Penicillium expansum producing the pisatin in the pea. Tobacco plant producing scopoline, which is going to produced by Pseudomonas. So next, apple producing Florodin called Ventunia inaqualis is easily identified by these phytoalexins. Coming to the next level of interactions in the below ground level. The below ground level interactions are root interactions. Most of them are called rhizosphere, the region around the plant system, the vicinity where plant microbial interactions are more, that zone is called rhizosphere. Coming to the next level, the rhizosphere, that word first coined by Lorenz Hiltner in 1904, the region where plant microbial influence is more. The rhizosphere is nothing but the zone where influence of microorganisms are more. Why the influence is there? Because they releasing the substances that attract microorganisms. Such a way the rhizosphere affects the microorganisms. There are several regions in the rhizosphere. What are they? First one is rhizoplane, second one is called endorhizosphere. These are the regions, upper region and inner regions. So as usually there is an interaction between the microorganisms, microbial dominance is more. So that's why as you compare with the soil nearby the root system, which is away from the root, is called non-rhizosphere soil. In non-rhizosphere soil microorganisms are less, in rhizosphere soil microorganisms are more. So that is called rhizosphere effect. So this is an important factor. Next, these are the details. So upper surface is called ectorhizosphere, rhizoplane, inner one endorhizosphere. So based on this interaction, two things are there. Exorhizosphere, which is contributed about epidermis and other things, called exorhizosphere, which is contributed about root hair and rhizoplane. So these two are known as the exorhizosphere. Coming to the inner cortex and cellular contents are called endorhizosphere. At the same time, actively growing tip contains of a root tip, and at the same time away from the root tip there is a non-rhizosphere soil. Both are there. You see clearly here, around the root system some cells are going to leach it out from the root tip. They are excluded from the root surface and they are also degrading the soil. Around the root system there is a muci layer is there. This is called muci gel. The muci gel is secreted around the root surface. A gel like substance is produced around the root system, that rendering the plants to attract more microorganisms. Such a way microbes are readily attracted towards the muci gel. Muci gel is also render the plant to protect from adverse environmental conditions. Next level, several plant systems are also readily producing an observable characteristic structures. For example, higher plants, root systems, aerial root system they produce called cycas plant producing coralloid roots. Finger like projections are there, these are called coralloid roots. In the next plant, Sesbania and Neptunia, Echinopsis, these all are 15 species present in the different legumes. They will interacting with rhizobium bacteria and producing various types of root nodules. Next, Actinorhiza, Frankia. This actinomycete is going to associate with higher plant systems and producing Frankia nodule called Actinorhiza. Next level, these are the rhizobium nodules. Rhizobium legume association, the producing characteristic structure called symbiotic root nodule. Next, phycobiont and mycobiont. Fungi and algae both are interacting with each other, producing a characteristic lichen. Next, so in rhizosphere, fungi also associate with the plant system and producing mycorrhiza. Mycorrhiza is a symbiotic association with higher plant with lower fungi. So probably 90% of the plant system consists of mycorrhiza. So there are different types of mycorrhiza: ectomycorrhiza, endomycorrhiza, ectendomycorrhiza, ericoid mycorrhiza and arbutoid mycorrhiza and orchidaceous mycorrhiza. 5 types are there, but among the 5, ecto and endomycorrhiza are very important for the plant. Majority of the plants they show ectomycorrhizal association and endomycorrhizal association. In ectomycorrhizal association, fungi going to associate with the root system and producing a characteristic external mantle sheath like structure, but in endomycorrhiza they invading the inner tissues and producing characteristic arbuscules and vesicles. So this is a fungi, you clearly see here. This is a root system. Around the roots there is a mucigel godal structure is there and a fungal network is there. This is extending from 1 centimeter to several kilometers based on the density of root system and tight packing of a root system. So next, these fungi and fund interactions, mycorrhiza plays a major role. They are extension of root systems, so that's why they are extending the root system. So fungi also associate with this plant system and producing and collecting more water and nutrients to the plant. They enhances the nutrient and water absorption intake. Plants provide the carbon and source for the fungi. Fungi provides phosphates and minerals to the plant system. A friendly association is there between the roots and the fungi. Nearly 90% of native plants have the association. Mycorrhiza is a symbiotic form of association, a friendly relationship which is going to help the plant as well as the soil fungi to establish plant more and more. They contributing to the plant health in several dimensions. This is the details of how a fungal mycorrhizal spore going to germinating or producing the hyphae. This hyphae is penetrating and just entered into the cell via interstitial spaces and entered into the cell and producing characteristic intracellular structure and intercellular structures. Between the cells they are producing vesicles, globose structures. Within the cell they are producing finger like projections, they are called arbuscules. These arbuscules are very important, they are collecting nutrients but they could not harm the plant system. Next, coming to the function of mycorrhiza, they are a key role players in the plant root association. They increasing the root surface area such a way roots are absorbing more nutrients and water from the system. So we are experiencing even in hot summer plants are surviving because roots are extended to 1 meter to kilometer, so they are collecting the water and nutrients from away from the roots. Next, absorption of soil water nutrients can be enriched more and more, that's why they increase the mobility and uptake of soil phosphate also. So they are secreting phosphatase enzyme, phosphate, rock phosphate going to be degraded and available phosphoric acid is more, now phosphate is mobilized to plant system. They provide plants with organic nitrogen also and they protect root from the toxic heavy metal attack. So heavy metals are absorbed by plant, fungi, but they are providing essential phosphates and water to the plant. Plant provides the carbon for the mycobiota. Effect of soil nutrient level on mycorrhiza also going to be very less, so they could not harm the plant system to establish. Next level. So overall most of fungi, bacteria, these are all together called as plant growth promoting rhizobacteria and microorganisms. These all are helping the bacteria in several manners. So what they are doing, most of the rhizosphere microflora, because fungi are there, algae are there, even some bacteria also there, actinomyces. These are all together called microflora. They are removing the hydrogen sulfide, bad odor coming from the soil is removed by these bacteria and microorganisms. They are increasing directly mineral content of soil and increasing the nutrient levels. So they are synthesizing the vitamins very essential for the growth, and they are also secreting amino acids, proline and other systems, and auxins, cytokines and gibberellins. They stimulate the plant growth. Such a way plant microbes are helping the plant root system to establish more and more. Several microorganisms also exhibiting antagonistic potential. What is antagonistic potential? They preventing the invading pathogens. Such a way they are antagonistic potential. So by means of competition. So they are competing for the nutrient, so they easily absorb the nutrient, so the parasite may not absorb the nutrients. So such a way parasites can be easily killed by secreting of antibiotics. Next, some of the organisms also have the nitrogen fixation capacity, because nitrogen 70% is available in the atmosphere but is not available to the plant system. But these microorganisms are acting as an interface, they converting the atmospheric nitrogen into biologically available nitrogen. Next, bacteria, nitrogen fixation, they convert atmospheric nitrogen into soluble nitrogen. So plants and animals can be observe them. Example, aerobically Azotobacter, anaerobically Clostridium. And decomposition of the biosphere, they also actively participates in the decomposition of organic litter, dead remains of plant and animals. They are essential components of the decomposition process. And some of the root exudates can be secreted by the Azotobacter. Generally they promote in the plant growth promotion. Genetically engineered bacteria, nowadays they are engineered to produce the insulin and other important components. So now we are looking for the engineering of these bacteria to secrete helpful components. Next, organisms present will be depend on many factors. So nutrient availability, soil and moisture content, pH, and redox potential. So the ability to donate protons and hydrogens also plays a major role. Acidity can be controlled. If more acidity, the plant system may not be establishing. So optimum level of acidity and hydrogen electron donor systems also very important. Coming to fungi, some of the fungi also there, but most of the fungi are plays a major role in decomposition process. They are decompose the carbon components, remove the organic matter accumulation. They plays a major role, and they also actively participate in nutrients cycle, and they are also very important for the food web. Mycorrhiza fungi plays a major role in phosphate mobilization. They also compete with the plant pathogens. Some pathogenic microorganisms also easily killed by these fungi. For example, penicillium, they producing antibiotic penicillin, such as a bacteria, gram-positive bacterium will be diminished in the root system. Algae, most of the blue-green algae also associate with some ferns like azolla and cycas. So blue-green algae used to reclaim the alkaline soil. This can be used for the reclamation of high salt content soils. Cyanobacteria play a key role in environment for transformation of rock soil. So eukaryotic organisms are found in the freshwater and saltwater environment, plays a major role. And they can live on rocks and trees, such a way soils with enough moisture content can also promote the establishment of blue-green algae. And they can carry on the photosynthesis process, so they produce a large amount of carbon and oxygen availability in the environment. So diatoms, chlamydomonas, volvax, spirogyra, these also plays a major role in carbon mobilization into the environment. Some actinomycetes also present in the microbial group. They are most friendly microorganisms found in the environment. They also help the bacteria. Example, Frankia and Streptomyces. They are also found in high pH soil. If there is a high acidity of the soil, these actinomycetes is going to render the soil to convert into normal soil, and they take part in decomposition of organic matter. Streptomyces nocardia plays a major role in cellulose decomposition. So plant materials can be easily degraded, so young roots collecting those soluble organic content. As a plant pathogen, potato scabs disease can be controlled by Streptomyces scabies. Streptomyces eleni associated the root nodules of alder plants for nitrogen fixation. So this species, Streptomyces eleni, can capable of fixing biological nitrogen, and they also producing antibiotics by means of antibiosis. Such a way, these actinomycetes plays a crucial role in plant root establishment. So these are the microorganisms, the important group of microorganisms, their role in fertility of soil and plant growth promotion. So more than 250 million organisms are present in 1 gram of soil, in 2 gram or 2.5 gram of soil, but among them 7 lakh are fungi, 4 lakhs are actinomycetes, 50,000 is goes to algae and 30,000 is to protozoa. So major component is bacteria. Such a way in 2 grams of soil more bacteria are there. If you are understanding these bacteria, if you are applying any kind of a protocol that might be improve the sustainability of these bacteria, so those friendly microorganisms help the plant to establish more and more. Automatically soil fertility increases, plant growth promotes, and agriculture yield can be increases. So what are the most important PGPR and their functions? So finally they promote the plant growth, they enhances the nutrient uptake, they also increase the biological nitrogen fixation and increasing the availability of nutrients in the rhizosphere soil. They are also increasing the root surface area. That's why they are enhancing the beneficial symbiosis effect on the host. So PGPR, plant growth promoting rhizobacteria, are the essential components of microorganisms. They plays a crucial role in the plant microbial interactions. Mode of action of PGPR, they are directly or indirectly affecting, either directly affecting and indirectly affecting, but both are very important. Finally they establishing the root system. Coming to the next level, this is what we have learned, that plant growth promoting rhizobacteria are establishing the environment, they well established several microbial communities and interacting with each other, such a way plant establishes more and more. If you are understanding the dynamics of these interactions, root and microbe, microbe and soil, soil and environment, we can understand more and more. We can design the establishment systems for drought tolerant agriculture, desertification agriculture. So what they are doing, they are directly increasing the phosphate availability and nutrient iron availability. So we can design novel biofertilizers. If you are understanding the interactions more and more, if you are come to a conclusion, so we can identify novel biofertilizers which are very effective for establishment of plants. And auxin phytohormone productions, so there is an opportunity to synthesize chemicals. So these organisms can be used for the synthesis of phytohormones. So we can synthesize the phytohormones in laboratory. Next, indirect way, PGPR controlling the pathogens by secreting antibiotics and growth inhibiting substances. So what are the genes, what are the proteins involving the pathogen controlling? These mechanisms, if you are understand, we can design novel plant systems, genetically engineered crops for sustainable agriculture achievement. So finally what we are achieving? Finally we are achieving soil health, because soil plays a major role for establishment of root system. So several microflora are present in the soil, they are interacting with each other. As I told previously, soil is an environment where plant and microbes are going to establishing. If environment is very congenial, very happy, then plants are establishing well. The capacity of soil function within the ecosystem is boundary to sustainable biological productivity. So biological productivity of soil plays a major role. Biological productivity depends upon many characteristics. Availability of organic content, availability of moisture, availability of pH, and what is the status of soil. Main and maintenance of the environmental quality can be achieved more and more if we are utilizing the effective microorganisms. And these systems, they can promote the plant and animal health if you are understanding the process. So soil directly influencing the plant and animal health. If soil health is good, plant health is good, microbial health is good. Finally animal health is also good, because we are interconnected with each other in a food web. So effect on soil health, organic matter can be increased, crop appearance can be increased, that is directly indicated by lush green and healthy appearance of the plant. If soil health directly recognized, we can use those type of systems. Soil erosion can be controlled, soil will not be eroded. This is a big problem. If Fertile soil is leaching or eroded from the entire land system, so the land system may not be used for the crop production. Earthworms numerously increases, so macroflora increasing. So such a way we are increasing the soil health. Degradation of organic matter is enhancing. Phosphate mobilization is enriching. Zinc, phosphate, minerals all together enriched automatically into the soil. So infiltration of fast non-ponding systems going to increase the soil health. So water logging state can be removed. If water is more for a prolonged time, that is also detrimental to root growth and multiplication. Compaction, so soil can be compacted, so sticky nature of the soil is going to increases. Conclusion, in this class we learned that soil microbial communities play a pivotal role in maintaining the soil as well as plant health. So both are maintained. If soil health is more, plants are well establishing. For establishing of plants, soil as well as the microorganisms plays a main role. Soil microbes improve the physical and chemical biological property of soil. If biochemical abiotic properties are increased, soil is going to be very healthy, that is called healthy soil. In healthy soil usually plants are establishing. They establishing well and they flourishing, so crop yield can be expected. Various interacting microbes producing phytohormones which have been inhibits or promote the root growth and promote the plant growth by protecting against biotic and abiotic stress, which is more important one. Drought and high temperature are detrimental to crop, so this can be easily controlled, and abiotic stress can be managed. So improvement in nutrient acquisition by root system is increased several folds. So finally we reach to our goal, that is called sustainable agriculture production. Such a way, if soil health is good, plant well establishes, environment is good, plant establishes. Microbes play a dual role. They promote the environmental health and soil health, they promote the plant growth, so microbes play an important role. Soil microorganisms appear to have very suitable and predictive tools in soil health monitoring, a novel approach. So according to situation, if you are understanding the predominant microflora according to situation, if situation is changing, microorganisms are shifting from one group to another group. This can be easily witnessed. So we can predict based on the microflora what is the environmental perturbation, which type of drought is going to be happening in the future. So we can stimulate the artificial systems. PGPR can be very effective and are potential microbes for improving soil fertility. So we can use PGPR as a soil fertility enhancers. They are enhancing the agriculture yield directly. So we can double the yield, so we can feed more mouths. So microorganisms help solubilization of nutrient mobilization of essential nutrients. Instead of using poisonous chemicals, fertilizers, chemical fertilizers, we go for the biological systems, microbial systems as bioinoculants. These PGPRs are replacing chemical fertilizers. If we are using microorganisms in land system, they are eco-friendly, so very easy to handle them, but at the same time they help the farmer, especially marginal farmers, by decreasing the investment. Thank you very much for your attention.